Hello, welcome to Higher Education Updates channel, and if you are applying for the HELB and government scholarships, this video is for you. The application is ongoing right now, and if you want to receive more money on time, I'm about to give you the most important tips based on the new funding model introduced by the government of Kenya. So this model affects how much loan, scholarship, upkeep, and household support you are given. So watch this video because a small mistake can cost you thousands of shillings or even delay your funds. And so also you need to understand what is an MTI and how it is used uh, to allocate funds. So MTI stands for Means Testing Instrument. So it is a scoring tool or instrument used by the HELB and the Ministry of Education to determine how much financial support you will receive. So the MTI considers your family's background, income, county of origin, school history, siblings in school, any disabilities or hardships. And from this, they calculate how much loan, scholarship, and household contribution you will be assigned. And so remember, the household contribution is the amount that your parents will be paying annually during your university study. So the goal is to prove your family is financially struggling, and I will show you how to do that with truth and also smart strategy. So, and also you need to understand about the new funding model. So according to the model, students placed in public universities by KUSIPs are eligible for government loan and also the government scholarship, HELB loan and scholarship with upkeep. But students placed in private universities are only eligible for HELB loan, and there is no upkeep for those who are placed in private universities. And also remember, your program cost and the household income directly affect how much you will receive. So this means some students in cheaper programs or lower GDP counties may receive more support than others. So I'll be going through the tips that can help you receive more funding. And so the tip number one is use of a sponsorship letter to lower your household contribution. During the application, there is on the institution tab, education tab, when you go to your secondary details, there is a place to indicate the fees that you paid during your Form 4 studies. Now let's assume you indicate 40,000. You need to ask yourself, what does that 40,000 indicate? Because if your parents paid 40,000, the Higher Education Loans Board will assume your parents can afford 40,000 annually in the university too, because that's what you are paying annually during your high school studies. And so what can you do to prove that your parents did not pay the 40,000 or were unable to raise it? So you need to use a sponsorship letter. And so I saw some students are indicating a low amount. Like let's say the student paid 50,000 Kenya shillings during his or her Form 4 studies. Then it decides to indicate 30,000. Yes, you can indicate that 30,000, but you need to prove who paid the extra 20,000 Kenya shillings, because the money that you indicate is the money that your parents paid. Now, to reduce the household contribution, you need to upload a sponsorship letter proving your fees were paid by a sponsor or a well-wisher. So options, these are the options that you have. If you are truly sponsored, maybe they have the Equity Foundation, KCB, some students who studied maybe in schools like Alliance, they have some of those schools have programs that sponsor students, or any foundation that sponsors it, may it be a government, CDF. Visit those offices and get a sponsorship letter. They'll give you an official letter and upload it. If not, so we have some students, they were not sponsored, their parents paid the fees, and maybe your parents were struggling, but you managed to complete your studies. This is what you need to do. You can also get a sponsorship letter this way. You can visit a church priest and request him to write you a sponsorship letter to prove that the church was in charge of your school fees. They paid or they helped your parents. You can just convince him. Then after that, you go to your area chief, request the area chief to write you a letter to prove your financial hardship. Or you can go to any employed person and ask them to write a letter, like as if they were a well-wisher, they sponsored you, they paid part of social security or the whole school fees. You can visit any employed person, and then, or you can write, these people are very busy and sometimes they find it hard to get time to write such letters. You can just write the letter itself, then visit the person, request him or her to give you his or her employment details, that is the ID, full name, and the position that or the job that he or she is doing. Then you write a letter, or even you can contact me with those details. If you have the details from any employed person, then I'll draft the letter for you. Then take those letters, you combine them with the chief's letter or church support letter and upload them as a single PDF. If there is any day that you did a harambe and maybe you have a document that indicates all the contributions from people, you can upload that as well. Then tip number 2, always use your home county in the location section, because during the application there is a place you need to fill your locations. Here you can see county, constituency. Use your home county location. Like for example, let's say you are born in Kakamega and maybe after your high school maybe you are in Nairobi. Don't indicate you stay in Nairobi. Same to your parents' details, indicate their home county. Like for example, let's say someone is coming from Turkana County and right now he is in Nairobi. The applicant is supposed to indicate he comes from Turkana County. Even residing, this is the location where you are born, then where you indicate in your personal information. Then residence, same to residence, just indicate you come from Turkana, and just indicate you are in Turkana right now. Don't indicate you are in Nairobi. Why? This is because counties with lower GDP receive higher support. You can't compare someone who's coming from Turkana and someone who is in Nairobi County. Those people are very different, and they can't receive similar support unless if they are considering location, unless if we have other factors like employment, maybe their parents are employed. Yeah, so you need to take note of that. Your location and your parents' location must be your original rural home county. Another tip is filling in parents' income. You need to fill your parents' income properly. So if your parents are unemployed, let me show an example that I have done. The HELB portal is very down currently. So when you go to the parent section, there is a place you are supposed to enter parents' income. You can see a business, farming, other income. So if your parents are unemployed, you can just indicate the occupation. You can just indicate casual workers like mama mboga or mijengo. Then enter 300 or 200 shillings under the income section here. Just indicate 200 or 300. Then The other parts, business, farming, relief, government support or well-wisher, just indicate 0. And if your parents are employed, there's no way you can escape that. For employed parents, HELB has access to your parents' pay, that is pay as you earn, and also the tax information. So you just need to be honest. But to increase your chances, show how other financial you need to prove other financial burdens of your parents. Like you can maybe your parents, maybe they have a loan, you can upload a loan document if your parent is repaying a loan, and also add a well-wisher letter explaining the hardship. Maybe your parents have a loan but they were able to pay your school fees. You can upload the loan details, then also include a well-wisher letter indicating that the well-wisher helped your parents to pay your school fees. And also, if you have anyone in your family, maybe unfortunately he or she is suffering from any chronic disease, you can upload a hospital letter if the family is paying the medical bills for the relatives. Yeah. Also, siblings, if you have siblings, indicate them. Or even if you don't have the siblings in primary, just indicate you have 3 or 2 or 1. Then you can indicate how much your parents are paying for them. Then you need to upload disability or chronic illness documents. So if you are a parent, if your parent or is disabled or suffers from a chronic illness, you need to upload a certificate from the PWD Council, that is the National Councils for Persons with Disabilities, or maybe a hospital document for the chronic illness. And probably it should be a public hospital, a public level 4 hospital. Then also the single parent certificate. So if your parents are employed and maybe you need more support, you can include a single parent certificate. That's just indicate you are single parented, then get a single parent certificate. So download the single parent certificate form from the HELB portal. So there's a section, you download it from this page. You just indicate raised by a single mother or single father, then you download the template here, then you fill this form. You don't fill it yourself, you take it to an advocate to fill it, to help you fill it. Then so download the single parent certificate from the HELB portal, and it must be filled and stamped by an advocate or a magistrate. Also upload divorce or separation letters if they are available. Then also number 6, another document that you need to be keen with, death certificate or a burial permit if parents are deceased. So don't forget to upload those, the death certificate. And also after you upload them, you can also include that you can get a sponsorship letter or a well-wisher letter to show who stepped in to support you after the death of your parents. And also you need to include all siblings in university or college that are, so some students forget this and HELB assumes your parents only support you. So you need to list all your brothers and sisters currently in university, college, polytechnic. Even if they are in private institution, you need to include them in your application. Because for example, last year there was an issue. Some students applied for the government loan. They did not indicate they have siblings in university. Or maybe you find right now in your family, your brother and sister, maybe let's say 3 of you are, or 2, are joining university in September. Then you fail to indicate that you have a brother or a sister who is also joining the university. So HELB will not know that your parents have 3 or 2 kids who are being admitted to the university, and they'll assume that you are the only person who your parents are responsible for paying the school fees. So if you indicate your siblings, the Higher Education Loans Board uh, will determine your allocation based on that. They know that your parents have more kids in university. Then choose employed guarantors if possible. So during the HELB application, there's a place you enter the guarantors details, and so HELB asks for 2 guarantors. So if you can use employed people, so this shows HELB you are a credible borrower and it improves your approval chances. So the guarantor, remember, the guarantor won't pay for you. He will not be responsible for paying that loan, but they increase your trust level. Let me just give an example. For let's say someone goes to request for a loan. One has a land that is worth 1 million, and another one has a land that is worth 500,000. So who will be given more? The one with 1 million shillings. So if you use employed guarantors, you can receive more funding than someone who use people who are not employed. So the employed guarantors should give you the employee details, including the staff number, the organization. Like for example, if he or she is a teacher, the guarantor should give you the TSC number. Then also correct bank details. So during the application, many students suffer from delayed funds because of wrong bank account and details. And I've seen many students, they don't understand the difference between bank and bank branch. So we have bank. A bank can be Equity Bank, Family Bank, Cooperative Bank, but those banks have branches. Like for example, you can find Equity Bank has a branch in Kakamega, it's called Kakamega branch. A branch in Maua, it's called Maua branch. A branch in Mombasa is Mombasa So all these banks have branches, and so when you visit a bank to create your bank account, you need to ask them what's the name of your bank branch, because some students, they know the bank but they don't know the bank branch. And also make sure you enter the bank branch correctly, bank account number correctly. So if you are unsure about your so make sure you insert the correct bank branch and account number. And also I want to talk about those students who are unsure about their September admission, maybe due to financial struggle. So just do the application right now for the HELB scholarship and upload, or then you need to write a deferment letter to your school, and the same deferment letter you need to send it to your to Higher Education Loans Board. Or you can do that later. You can just do the application, then you will receive your funds. The funds will be sent to school. Then when you will be joining next year in 2026, you visit the Higher Education Loans Board or Huduma Center, then you show them the deferment letter. Then you need to also consider university and program cost. So some universities are cheaper than others for the same course. For example, you can find that education science in one university is costing 300,000, and in another university it is costing 240,000. So compare fees before selecting. Right now everyone has been placed, but you can still transfer. So if you find that the university you are in is the cost of the program is much higher compared to another university, you can consider transferring through the CUSPS portal. So this helps to reduce the burden on your household contribution and also increase your funding chances. So you need to apply on time, upload all relevant supporting documents, and be truthful but strategic. So Remember, this is a loan and a scholarship, and you can maximize both if you follow these tips. So you need to be keen during the application, enter the correct details, get sponsorship letters if possible, whether you are sponsored or not. They are very crucial, and make sure you apply on time. And for those who are applying for the inter-institution transfer, don't do the application until you get a transfer letter and an admission letter of the new institution. So thank you for joining this session, and if you have any question, you can reach out to me through my WhatsApp number, then I'll be able to help you.